Hi everyone. Relatively calm markets today, but let's take a look at them and a potential reversal pattern. Do me a quick favor and like and subscribe and watch the video till the end to help out the channel, and let's get started. So Fear and Greed Index finished at a 68, down from a 71. Momentum stepping back into regular greed. Strength and breadth still hovering in extreme greed. Put-call ratio getting into extreme greed, dipping a little bit lower here today. And then volatility, a little bit of a spike there. Interesting. We talked about that as a zone of support, and now we're seeing junk bonds in fear and safe haven in fear. So maybe we've seen a little bit of a topping here on the Thursday into Friday sessions. Moving over to the economic calendar, PCE data came in better than expected, 0.22 versus 0.23, 0.1 versus 0.2, core number 0.1 versus 0.2, core number for the year over year flat. So everything looks good there. Michigan data in line with expectations. Consumer sentiment still good. Atlanta Fed GDP coming in line with yesterday's at a 3.1, a little bit better than expectations. So everything continues to be in line with a soft landing and a potentially strengthening economy on the GDP side. Then moving over to the charts, looking at the S&Ps here, you can see we ended up down 0.15 on the day. Momentum continues to step down. That's 3 days in a row of step down. I still think this is going to kind of consolidate here, something like this, where we see a little bit more consolidation before we get a little bit of a fall. But this is a higher high, so you would expect a higher low off of the dip, but it seems to be running out of momentum. I don't think we're going to get anywhere near these upper levels here in the 590s. It seems to be slowing pretty much right now. Maybe you get another little bit out of it. But with the gap up and fall yesterday and continuation falling here today, probably going to see a retest of that 9 EMA down at 568.72. Moving over to the NASDAQ, here on the daily, you can see we ended up getting a gap down and fall, similar to the SPY, but a little bit more aggressive, down 0.53 on the day. Momentum stepping down again. RSI looking to retest that SMA here, so a little bit more pullback. Could certainly bounce off that level and get another continuation, but in the short term, looking for that 9 EMA, looking for trend support down here at 19,867. And then looking at that level on the Qs, that's close to that 481.94 level. We are right here at my 486.84 level, closed just 9 cents below it. Falling a little bit after hours, but looking for that 9 EMA, that's at 482.35. So right in this next zone here would be your support. And then we'll see what happens after that. Moving over to the Russell and the Dow, the Russell stayed positive on the day, 0.68, tested the trend line, got a little bit of a rejection from there, hit the level as well, 221.49. Either way, still between these two trend lines, momentum holding in there, RSI bouncing slightly, so could see a little bit more continuation here. The Russell looked a little bit better here today versus everything else. And then looking at the Dow, also positive, but touched this level and rejected very powerfully off of that wick. At its peaks, we were up over 1% and then finished at 0.3 or so. Again, looks okay, but still stuck between these trends here, and both of them continue to be important. Tested on Thursday to the downside, tested today to the upside. Moving over to Apple and Microsoft. Apple hanging in there, 0.12 after testing this trend line again. Tried to overthrow it, could not, ended up falling from that level. Momentum fading, RSI kind of neutral here, so still looks like a consolidation, maybe a high, lower high setting up here, and then we're going to get a bit of a fall back down to my level, 224.36, and then watching to see if that level breaks or not. And then Microsoft looks a lot worse here, 0.76 to the downside, broke my level here, so next support is in this consolidation of EMAs and SMAs, down around that 432 level, basically 432 flat. If that level breaks, then you're looking for 413.36, back down here, or the 200 in there at 215.39, so looking like another about 1.25 to this next zone here, and then if that breaks, you're looking at about 3.25% lower. Moving over to staples and discretionary. Staples pushing up, testing the level, 83.43, rejected from there, still in the middle of the consolidation. Momentum swinging, might see a little bit more bullishness to come here on staples. And then looking at discretionary, still rejecting off this trend line, still holding above the level, stuck in here for a minute. Momentum fading, RSI still overbought, so I still think we're going to reject from here, but it's holding up for now. Moving over to J&K and TLT, both of these TLT just catching a bounce off this trend line here, looking for a bigger swing. And I think it will. This is deep in the bearish momentum, but it is still an uptrend, so this is a good trade up into this zone, in my opinion. And everything looks back to bullish here for bonds. And then looking at the VIX, you can see that big up move, 10% up, right to the trend line. Super important level. We've touched it a bunch of times here. Ended up stopping right there. But this is a big upswing. We've had 2 steps to bullish here, so now it looks to me like markets are going to see a little bit more sell-off. This is probably going to push into the 20s, 22.50 area. Somewhere in this zone for sure, in my opinion, which means markets are going to be headed lower over the next week. at least based on this spike that we're starting to see here. Moving over to my accounts, I held all of my positions and then just rolled them out here to the next day. Managed to make a little bit of money because I was deep in the money going in for the Qs. So that worked out really well. Ended up squeezing out a small profit there. And then IWM, I rolled this up and out a little bit here to 220 for $2 credit. Ended up finishing at the 220 area, so a little bit of profit there. Could have been patient, I guess, and maybe made a little bit more money on the day, but overall not bad at all. Still squeezing out those profits bit by bit, and then really happy with my result here on the Qs, with it being down about 0.5% and still managing to squeeze out a couple of dollars there. So everything looks good, and it was a good trading week for me, just being patient with the markets. Let me know down in the comment section what you thought of the charts in the markets today. Is this a turning point or the start of a consolidation before we see a move down? Or is this a topping pattern that's going to put us into a medium-term downtrend? Definitely like and subscribe if you got any value out of this video, and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on any future episodes. Of course, none of this is financial advice. This is all for entertainment purposes. Good luck in your trading and have a great day.